Hey everybody, Ben here with We Go Fishing, and Karen's here with me, and we're going to go through the fishing news of the week. We've got some interesting stories, I think, this week. Also, we're going to have a video coming out on Thursday. Brand new fishing
Thursday,
video.
I'll have to watch that.
Yeah, you have to watch that. All right. She doesn't watch our channel. No.
Oh, I do.
I think she's subscribed. I'm not
sure.
sure. All right. But in any case, yeah, we went to another beach fishing trip to see how we would be doing this time. Being that last time was just after the freeze, so we give it a little more time. We'll see how things are going. But we'll have that video out for you hopefully on Thursday. But
is that the one I was fishing?
Yeah.
See, it's just weird to watch yourself fish. It's just you're gonna critique
you already
yourself, and you're gonna be like,
happens.
oh, I should have done that, or
yeah. You already know what happens. You already know the story. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Well.
But you do a good job.
I try to edit it up a little bit. I'm not saying I play with the splices too terribly much. But. Anyway, so welcome to the fishing news of the week, and we got some good stories for you today. Also, congratulations once again to M&K Outdoors for winning the giveaway last week. No giveaways this week, don't have anything for you, but at the same time, congratulations to them. Hopefully they got their products. All right, so let's get to the first story, and I want to go, do we say headlines now? We're going to say headlines?
Sure, the headline story.
All right, and I'll put links to all the stories in the description below because I'm using a different program because, man, with the autoplay and the ads,
it's annoying.
It's annoying. So I've got a program now that gives me just the text of it. But this is from KIITV.com, and it says a large orca pod, about 100 killer whales, spouted off Galveston in the Gulf of Mexico. I didn't even know orcas were in the Gulf of Mexico.
I always thought cold climates.
I did
Alaska,
too. I did too.
SeaWorld.
SeaWorld, yeah, I'm like, that's about as close as I'm ever going to get to them, right?
I know. And not even now because they took them out because that killed that guy. Well, they are killer whales.
They are killer whales. And apparently they were in the Gulf of Mexico, and it says that this is probably one of the last sea creatures you'd expect to see in the coast of Galveston. But a fishing group, overnight charter. Tuna trip. Good catches, though. 54 tuna and 280 snapper.
I know.
That's pretty good.
I got to say, I read the story, and my heart hurt a little. I was a little jealous because I have wanted to go on a tuna trip for a while. And they got to see a whole pod of orcas.
I know. It's crazy.
Although I think the captain was a little nervous.
I would have to think so. I would have been a little nervous.
He said he was a little nervous because 50 of them started hitting his boat.
Yeah, this was since I was driving along, I saw something off the port bow. Captain Sam Hardiman, about 100 miles off the coast, so really not that far when you really get down to it. 100 miles off the coast of Galveston. That's not terribly far.
But you have to go far to tuna, right?
Yeah, because you got to go way offshore to the rigs, to the big rigs. Blackfin tuna. Got closer. He thought it was pilot whales, and so he started to slow down because you want to be respectful of the environment. And before you knew it, the killer whales were on us. It just happened immediately. 100 killer whales. A group about 30 to 50 of them broke off and started following the boat. So they slowed down. They watched them for about 20 minutes. And this guy says he had no idea. This is the captain of the boat. He says he had no idea they were in the Gulf of Mexico either. So I'm not the only one that didn't know they were in the Gulf of Mexico. But it says every 3 or so years there's a similar report. Apparently, from what this article says, there is a small population of orcas in the Gulf, but extremely rare. So
I don't know why. If they told their friends it was warmer water, they'd all come, right?
Yeah, and there's seals in Galveston, right?
I think there's some. They probably do have trouble finding as many big, large meals.
But they got tuna, and I don't know what their diet would be, but I meant tuna and snapper, I would imagine. But in any case, says eventually the orcas got bored, they went away. But just one of those things, once in a lifetime experience here, to think you're out there fishing, and you come across a group of killer whales in the Gulf of Mexico. So I thought it was just a really cool story that here we are in Texas and the wildlife is there, and that's pretty cool.
They're pretty.
All right.
They do hunt as a team. Have you read that?
They do.
They hunt as a team.
They're smart animals. They are smart animals for sure.
Yeah. They're not your average whale, for sure. And that's how they could train them at SeaWorld. But they could follow commands and everything. But they hunt as a pack, almost like wolves, and they stick together in pods. And so, really, they could attack a shark and be successful.
Yeah.
I mean, really, anything they want.
Well, they have teeth. Yeah. So anyway, I'll put a link to that story in the description below. I thought it was really cool. It's been all over the place. So if you've seen it already, but if you haven't, it's just a really awesome story. The second story that I thought was really kind of a cool story when you really think about it, and I got two stories on it, so from two different states. But as I was reading about this is something we're seeing all across the United States. I imagine here in Texas it's the same thing, although there's no statistics I could find on it. But I would imagine it is happening too, just by anecdotal evidence of people that were out there, and we are seeing a lot more people fishing, a lot more people just out there doing things because of the pandemic. Last year, I asked the captains, and if you're a captain, maybe you could put in on this. But I asked the captains about this. Have you had? Has it been hard? People getting out there and guides. So he's like, no, it's been awesome. This is people wanting to get out, and we're taking people out. And he says we're just booked constantly. So this is something we've seen.
Basically, is that people are buying more licenses.
It says hunting and fishing licenses are up. Now this is out of WMUR in Manchester, New Hampshire, but here's another one from Utah as well, from hgnews.com and hjnews.com, excuse me. But Utah is seeing the same thing. Like I said, I think it's all over the place. I really do. I think it's just something that they're seeing, and you can see the difference here. It says this is in Utah. It says from March 2020 to February 2021, the DWR, which is their, I guess that would be like their Texas Parks and Wildlife there, they sold 222,124 combination license, which there allows them to hunt and fish, compared to 183,000 roughly in the time period for the previous year. So that's a total of 417,000 plus fishing licenses in 2020 to 2021, an increase of more than 100,000 licenses than before.
Wow.
That is a lot more people that are out. I wonder if that's going to change regulations and things. Or maybe people don't know what they're doing, so they're not catching anything.
All the noobs are out there, so watch out.
Well, that's one of the things that the article here in New Hampshire was talking about, is they were talking about the bump that they've been seeing in theirs, but it also does mean that they are seeing, and I'll scroll down to the video to it, it says search and rescue calls are up, as are all-terrain vehicle crashes. So there is an increase in people out there enjoying things, which is great, but there are a lot of people out there that...
inexperienced.
Yeah.
And they go out when they shouldn't. And so, search and rescue has to do more.
Yeah.
So you have to be, considerate of others. You have to think of the weather. You have to respect the ocean. You have to respect the winds, even in lakes.
Well, here it says the biggest jump in New Hampshire was in fishing licenses, because it probably requires the least amount of equipment and training. But he said all permits were up. But, it's just something I think that as people who enjoy the outdoors, and we're out there a lot, hey, if you don't know something, and maybe you're watching this video, maybe you clicked on it because it was fishing news, and so you say, hey, what's going on with fishing? And maybe you're new to the channel, but if you don't know something, just ask. Now, I'm not going to give away best spots. We don't do that. You teach a man to fish. You don't give man fish.
But outdoors people, they're some of the nicest people you meet.
Generally speaking, there are some real schmucks, though. Can I say schmucks? There are some real jerks out there. I will say that. There are.
Yeah, but most of the people I walk up and ask, hey, what are you doing here? What's this? When we were first learning, they want to teach you.
Yeah,
here's how to do it, and here's some bait, and
or go out with a guide. That's another way to do it. Just go out with a guide and pay the charter fee, and they'll teach you too. I mean, they do. That's one of the things that we do, that we've done, and I'm not ashamed to say that. To say, hey, look, I'm going to ask. I'm going to learn. The thing about fishing and hunting is really, you continue to learn over the lifetime. You're gaining that experience. So I'm really, because the point of our channel is to inspire families to get out there and do this stuff. So it's exciting that people are actually doing that, because that makes great family memories and gets more people out there enjoying the great outdoors. So that's great. But hey, don't think like you have to crack this whole thing on your own.
Just have a teachable spirit.
Yeah,
there's
be willing
always
to learn,
something to learn.
Ask questions, leave comments on I can tell you this, I respond to all of our comments. And if you have a question or anything I can help you with, I was just talking with a guy about our boat. And he was asking questions about it, and he emailed me. Our email is in the description below. Ask questions, because we want to help people grow in this thing. We don't have all the answers. I'm not a professional. You may have lost your amateur status at this point.
I don't know about that.
But I have not lost my amateur status. Definitely still an amateur. Still learning. Still trying to figure things out. Especially having moved our home waters to Aransas Pass in just the last 3 months. Yeah, so we had to learn those new waters, and we're still learning. I've got, I'm still getting coached myself. I'm texting people, I'm asking questions. And so I just encourage you guys to do the same. It's a really great thing that so many people out there doing this. But ask questions, learn something, because this is what I don't want to see. Search and rescue calls are up. Because, if you see guys out without life jackets. I know some guys are getting into kayaking, and they don't understand wind. They don't understand how to position themselves. I mean, there's a lot goes into these things.
They don't even know how to paddle. Some of them.
Paddling, yeah.
I've seen them not even paddle properly, and so they don't go anywhere, and it just get pushed by the wind.
Yeah, so I would just say, ask the questions, get better at it. The great thing about YouTube is there's lots of videos out there. We have videos on this stuff. We have a whole tips and tricks section about how you can tie different knots and all that sort of stuff. So make use of that information and get out there and enjoy these things. But it's really cool to see that so many people are out there just enjoying these things and enjoying the outdoors, because there's so much to enjoy. It's so much better than putting your kids on video games and letting their minds just be destroyed by them. I think that's my opinion, but I think it's better to be out there hunting, fishing, doing those sort of things. So, any other comments? We're good?
No, I think that's the two main stories this week. And
so be looking for our video. Should come out on Thursday. I'm planning it. This video should go up here in just a little bit. But the next video for our fishing video should go out on Thursday. So be looking for that. And let's get to those catches of the week.